What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome for the first time. I don't know, but welcome to Sinister's Movie Stash. It's where me and Hunter, which I will introduce in a minute. We go through my movie stash, and we'll pull something out and we'll discuss it, talk about our favorite scenes, talk about our favorite performances, and all that good stuff. But before we do that, let's go ahead and introduce my co-host, Hunter Chambless, the Hitman. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, welcome back. I guess. Sinister's Movie Stash. It's been a while since we've done this. Very excited for the movie, that we picked to review today.
Yeah, I mean, we had to come with our comeback. We had to start it off with a bang. And so why not go for the movie that's nominated for the most Oscars this year? And that is none other than Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm.
No!
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's cool.
Yes, Everything Everywhere All at Once, man. Like, this movie had so much hype. And I'm going to be honest, I hadn't seen it until we decided to come back with the show. I just kept putting it off. Other things came out, other things came up, and life gets ahead of you, and all of a sudden it's a whole year, and a whole year has passed, and I haven't seen it. So I finally watched it, actually, I think Monday, Tuesday time, and man, what a movie we picked.
Yeah. So this is directed by the Daniels, who were coming off of Swiss Army Man with Elijah Wood back in the early 2000s or 2010s. I want to say 2010s.
I think like 2010s, yeah, because I was watching the Schmoes at that time, and I hadn't started watching the Schmoes until about the 2010s.
Yeah, so like mid 2010s. Haven't seen that film, but if this style is anything like that in Swiss Army Man, I'll be super excited to watch it. It stars, let me look up the cast real quick. Michelle Yeoh, Stephanie. I'm gonna butcher these names.
If we butcher any names, guys, please don't hold it against us.
Yeah. So it's Stephanie Hazu, Stephanie Han,
like Stephanie Sue or something like that. Yeah. Your name be said.
Ki-Hu Kwan.
Yes.
I said it right. And James Hong as the grandfather.
Jamie Lee Curtis, who fucking kills it in this film. I think we're going to say about every performance in this. I think they had a blast making this movie. Because of how that shit crazy this movie is.
Dude, there's some moments that, like, it's so insane that you just want to laugh. And then there's moments that fucking tug at your heartstrings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this film so much. So this is actually my second rewatch of it. And it gets better, like, every time I watch it.
Absolutely. So yeah, you went down the cast, the directors. Let's go ahead and get into what the movie's about. Basically, we're dropped in. We're following this woman, Evelyn, played by Michelle Yeoh. She is married to Ki-Hui Kwan's Wayman Wong, I believe his last name is.
Yep.
And they have a daughter, Joy, played by Stephanie Sue. And they own a laundromat. And apparently they're having some issues with their taxes. And we find out later that it's because Michelle Yeoh has a bunch of hobbies that she puts as job expenses.
Yeah.
And obviously that's not the case.
The karaoke machine.
Yeah, the karaoke machine. I guess technically it's for the party at that laundromat. It is what it is. But so she's trying to solve this whole thing. It's also. Oh, and then they meet with their IRS agent, Jamie Lee Curtis, who almost unrecognizable.
Yeah,
like it's amazing. She completely disappears in this role, kind of like the annoyed, like I'm over this, like, but takes her job very, very seriously.
By the way, her Jamie Lee Curtis has 5 of these awards.
Yes, and they do come back.
And
And
they
did
do come back.
Did you think the same thing that I did whenever you saw him? Like the minute she showed that, I was like, "That's a butt plug."
Yeah. That's obviously a butt plug. Like, like it's obvious. And trust me, we do come back to that.
Oh yeah, it definitely comes back. So yeah, on her way to the IRS to the IRS building to talk about what's going on, out of nowhere, her husband takes off his glasses, puts up this
Such
umbrella
a good scene.
with donuts, which you'll notice that there's a lot of donut imagery, a lot of bagel imagery.
Circles.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of that in here, and he tells Evelyn, "I'm not from your universe. I'm from a different universe." Gives her this like headset thing,
Mm-hmm.
and is like gives her instructions. Tells her, "Meet me here, either." And when you go sit down, do these instructions, and boom, they end up going to this like kind of like side universe. I think it's like a side universe that they said is cleared so that they can.
Yeah, it's in the janitor's closet.
And that's when you learn that this movie is already batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets crazier and crazier. But the weird thing is, it works.
Yeah.
There's never a point in this movie where I'm like, that doesn't track. That doesn't work for me. That didn't, like, everything in this movie worked. And it's one of those movies where it probably shouldn't work. I'm pretty sure on paper it probably didn't work.
Yeah. And
The
funny thing is that it teaches you about the multiverse without making it too confusing.
Absolutely.
Because they give you these simple instructions of like, okay, if you do something weird, you can access, a certain version of you from another multiverse, and then you gain their abilities, their memories, things like that. And it's not like, so confusing where it's like too many multiverses. They seem to stick to their rule sets, which I love when movies can do that, because like something like Doctor Strange, for example, which I like the second one. I know a lot of people didn't. There were some moments where it's like, what are the rules of this film? Like, what are the rules of the multiverse that they are, explaining? This one, you understand it, and then they stick with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Ke Huy Quan's character, I'm just gonna call him Wayman. When Wayman is explaining it to her, he basically tells her that every little decision that you can make, and this is like kind of how I've learned of what the multiverse is. Like, every single choice you have, whatever choice you make, that other choice branches off into another reality. So that's why you had this like basically an infinite multiverse.
Yeah.
And that like these little things can change. Something so small as with the first time we see it is with Wayman, and the first time you see it, you're like, what in the hell is he doing? Is when he pulls out the chapstick and he starts eating it.
Yeah.
And like I'm just like, is this like a drug or something? Is it like an enhancer? I don't know what's going on. And then later on he tells you basically like you can access these multiverses, these different multiverse versions of yourself, and take these like skills that you need from them by doing something weird. And the first like that, he said that was the one for his. When he's trying to like get her to do something real fast, he tells her, "Pee your pants." It's usually a good jumping off point.
Yeah, or like actually, a few scenes previously, when she's reading the list, the first thing is swap your shoes. It's something small, it's something weird, but it's something that jumpstarts her first jumping off point where she can travel to that closet with Wayman.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's one of those movies that, like you said, it establishes the rules, and it sticks to those rules. It never tries to change things up. No one's I'll use an anime term. No one's OP in this. Like, everyone's got their certain things that they need to do. And Wayman lets Evelyn know this person from their universe, from their Alphaverse is what they called it.
Yeah.
The Alphaverse, which is the first universe, I believe, that is able to make contact with the other universe.
Jump to and contact other people in the multiverse.
Yeah, so you'll see. So I'll probably just start calling him Alpha Wayman, Alpha. Alpha, Joy.
Joy. Yeah.
Alpha Gong Gong.
Yeah.
And then so I feel like I was going somewhere with this, and I lost my train of thought.
Okay, when that happens.
Yes, anyways, the Alphaverse created this, and the Alpha Wayman lets Evelyn know that there's this person named Jobu Tapaki that is.
Did it way better than I could.
I've been watching a whole bunch of videos so I can get these names down. But Jobu Tapaki, or as like, I think it was like Joju Chubaki or something.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of ones that Evelyn said. She can never say it right. I love the thing that she says when he first says it, Jobu Tapaki, and she's like, you're just saying sounds.
You're saying sounds.
I love her and Kyu Hui Kwan's chemistry in this movie.
Oh, it's so good, man. The one thing that I want to bring up about Joy, from the very beginning, is that she's gay.
Yes.
And it's a plot point of the movie, but it's not the main focus of the movie. Yeah. Which I love. It's like, it starts off and you realize that, she has a girlfriend. She's trying to invite to her grandfather's party. And you kind of see that Evelyn, is kind of hesitant about it. Like, she doesn't know how to feel about it. She says that, I think she said something about like giving her grandfather a heart attack or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's all about kind of accepting her daughter as she is, which that ending, man, which like we'll get to, so fucking powerful. And that's kind of what leads it off.
Yeah, because I think a big theme in a lot of movies today, or a lot of movies recently in the last 2 years maybe, is generational trauma. It's about the trauma that we basically take on from our parents, which they took on from their parents. You got movies like Encanto, Turning Red, and I think this one is a big one too, because like the reason why Evelyn doesn't want to, one, accept that her daughter's gay, and two, tell her father that her daughter's gay, is because she knows already that she already knows her father, and the fact that her father couldn't even accept her own marriage, her leaving to marry Wayman. Well, how in her mind he would never be able to accept you. And I think in a way, in her own kind of twisted way, and I think a lot of us go through this, is she was trying to protect her daughter from her father, from going through what she went through. But because by doing that,
she's hurting her daughter more. Yeah,
she's creating this rift between her and her daughter, which is really highlighted in this movie. That's why, man, that scene that she has with Evelyn and Joy, that last scene, it really does like almost bring a tear to your eye. But so we have that going on, and the craziness happens. They get attacked by Deirdre, or I guess Alpha Deirdre.
Alpha Deirdre, yeah.
Alpha Deirdre. They get attacked. That's when you see
not
her
before Evelyn punches the fuck out of real Deirdre.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. She and I can't believe we totally missed that part. It's because of where the instructions that Alpha Wayman wrote down, the instructions on the back of it, is where real Wayman's divorce papers to bring to Evelyn, which we find out later. Or in that scene, it's not necessarily he wants to get divorced. He just knows that their relationship is going downhill. I believe she hasn't even kissed him in a long time. Like they haven't had any kind of affection in a long time. And so his idea to like jumpstart this was, maybe if I bring up the divorce, it'll kind of like kickstart something. It'll make her like, okay, I need to change. Yeah. So she has the instructions in her hand. He sees it. And he's like, oh no, like it's not what you think. And she was like, you know about this? And he was like, yes, but like I found out this is the way to do it. And we need to fight. You need to fight. You need to fight for our relationship.
And then she turns around and
fight, and she just smacks Deirdre right in the face.
Jamie Lee Curtis's reaction is hilarious.
It's a Karen reaction. I love it. Even though it's completely understandable, because it's not like a normal Karen reaction. Because
how dare you?
Yeah. You assaulted an IRS agent. It was so funny.
Oh my God, so good.
So then the security comes, and that's when the that's when Alpha Wayman does the first like crazy action scene, and the action in this movie is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, he takes out an entire security guard crew
With a fanny pack.
With a fanny pack. Like I'm telling you, they had to have went to some people. Only A24 would be able to make this film.
Yeah.
Like only A24 would read this script and be like, "This is a winner."
Yeah.
But man, I'm so happy that it did get made. Yeah, so then it starts going more. You get to see Jobu Tupaki for the first time, and you realize that it is Joy. Which the costume every costume she wears is amazing.
Yeah.
The costume design in this movie is fantastic. I don't think we're gonna say one bad thing about this movie. The costume design, the sound, the music, the writing, everything. The editing. I think the editing is top notch. This has to win the editing Oscar.
The editing is probably the best of the year, only because it's like there are scenes where like it cuts to like 4 different Evelyns, and you see it like crack screen, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's all cracking, like her mind is like breaking apart, and it shows that on the screen. And then you got like the cool little like chapters where it's like chapter 1 everything, chapter 2 everywhere, and then the final chapter all at once, which is a great way to break up a film, to be like, okay, this is part 1, part 2, part 3. Which another film that I love, The Menu, did perfectly was they encapsulated each of the scenes. No spoilers. Okay. They capitalize each of the scenes
with
based on the courses. Yeah,
I watched the first
fantastic.
First 30 minutes.
Dude, finish it up because we need to talk about that movie.
I will for sure. We start getting into more of the. She's learning how to use the outfit to do the outfit. I mean, the jumping, the
jumping,
first jumping. And there's a point that Alpha Wayman tells her, like, you cannot stay in one universe for too long. If you do, you're basically snap. Your mind will snap, and then you'll become Jobu Tupaki. And then later on, we find out that from Gongon that Jobu Tupaki is basically Alpha Joy, because Alpha Evelyn discovered, I believe it's like she wanted her to learn or to do this, and so she gave her too much of the universe.
So pretty much, to sum it up, her brain fractured.
Yeah.
Because she spent so much time in different universes that her brain pretty much went to like nothingness, aka the big bagel.
Bagel, yeah, the everything bagel.
Yeah, the everything bagel.
And because of that, she's experiencing every universe at once. And she's going through, and you notice it doesn't ever make a note of it, but she's looking for Evelyns, because we see her kill the first Evelyn by doing what she did. And at first you think it's because she wants to. I was like immediately like, oh, she wants to kill all Evelyns because Evelyn did this to her. No. So much deeper, so much like more impactful.
So good.
So we keep going forward. She's trying to find out, to get a hold of, trying to find a way to stop Jobu Tupaki, and she decides, I'm gonna do what she did. Evelyn says, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do this. If I can become as powerful as her but be able to control it, then I can take her out. And she goes for it. And I think there's like the one point where she throws up. There's a lot of at some point. Yeah,
because that's the scene where everybody, because the alpha version of her father is trying to stop her because he's worried that she's going to become the new Jobu.
Mm-hmm.
So he sends all the army, pretty much his whole army, towards her, which gives me some of the greatest scenes. Like the fucking lady who picks up her laundry at the beginning of the film.
Oh, Jenny Slate?
Yeah, Jenny Slate. She comes back and she punts the fuck out of her dog and starts using it as a weapon on a leash.
Yeah. And The dog's completely okay with it. It seems like.
Yeah, he's completely fine with it.
Like, this is
And then of course the butt plug scene, which is we need to talk about this because you have to do something weirder and weirder in every to do like a powerful jump.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the way the camera's panning is amazing because it's like I have nothing weird I can do because they're both fighting. And then they slowly turn their heads and the camera pans and it shows the award that's shaped like a butt plug. And you're like, oh my God. And then
immediately he's like going like this. He's taking off his
Joy has one of the greatest lines where he's like, oh my God, he's going to put up his butt. And it's a fight to see which one of them can do it. And then this one guy just fucking jumps from the table. And I love the fact that because it's a Japanese style like martial arts film, it's pixelated.
Yeah, it's pixelated. He lands on it, boom, and immediately starts kicking ass. And hanging out, like you can see it clearly hanging out. And then the other guy comes up, and he has even longer. Yes, it's fantastic. Comedy's amazing. Also, before that scene, there was actually I guess both of their headsets came off.
Yeah.
Fighting before he tried to jump on the.
Well, they both hit each other with like a pipe. And it kind of rocked them.
Yeah, so they instead of being able to do the badass fighting that they were doing, they immediately just go to like. Start slapping each other. It's amazing. The comedic timing is fantastic.
I love the different worlds we get to see too. Like there's a world with like everyone has hot dogs for fingers.
Hot dogs for fingers, yeah.
And Evelyn and
Deirdre.
Yeah, Deirdre are dating. Yeah, which is kind of a funny / heartbreaking / emotional scene.
Yeah,
like it just.
It's because there's the moments that you see in the hot dog finger universe. It's like Deirdre's trying, like it's just like being normal, like going about life, but because Evelyn doesn't know what the hell's going on, she's like being mean and rude to her.
Yeah.
And so there's that point where she's like crying and playing the piano by herself.
Oh, it's so sad.
And that's when Evelyn comes in and is that's around the time that it's towards the end. But yeah, you get to see that like that little heartbreaking scene, and it's supposed to be like heartbreaking, but then you also have the weird like
the hot dog fingers.
Hot dog fingers. It's just I love the way that it's contrasted with the weirdness with the heart of the film.
And then the rocks. The rocks probably got me more like emotional more than anything.
Oh yeah, the rocks. Because it's Joy and Evelyn in this spot where Joy lets her know this is a universe where the Earth didn't the conditions weren't good enough for humans to evolve and live there, and so they're just there being rocks. And it's one of those things where she says like, oh, just you just come here and you just be a rock, and like you can only imagine like how relaxing that has to be.
Dude, the music is calm and it feels like there's like no wind or anything. It's just kind of a calming effect.
Yeah. It's just desolate. There's no moving. There's nothing. How what Joy and Evelyn are saying to each other is because they each have their own little subtitles. It's great. And there's a scene. That's when you find out that like basically Joy, because she's experiencing everything all at once. It's like you just kind of realize like you're seeing all the ways that you fail or all the ways that you failed because you're seeing what could have been and what you could have been or become. And so you put all these like pressure, you put even more pressure on you than we already do as humans, all the pressure that we put on ourselves as normal humans. I can't even imagine being able to see all your other lives and being like, I didn't do this. I could have did this. I should have did this. I should have did that. Mm-hmm. And so she has to live with that pain. And because of that, she's able to see all the, basically all of the BS that's going on, like how we're nothing basically. And like that, you just kind of sit and wait for the next thing to come around that makes you even feel like less. less than. I think you can kind of like liken that to the creation of the internet. Like we lived through that. We lived through creation of the internet, how it evolved. Like you don't even, and when you look back on it, you don't even remember how it evolved.
Yeah.
You don't remember when the internet went from being chat rooms and blogs and stuff to just being like social media. Like it really is.
Yeah, stuff like this. But the one thing I love is that you get different styles of, I guess, looks at the world based on the family. Mm-hmm. Like Joy, especially Alpha Joy, and kind of in our universe, Joy, they kind of feel like nothing really matters. Like they have like that nihilistic feel of like, well, nothing really matters. Like my mom is not going to accept me, or I can see everything, so I know everything doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that kind of
life is only pain. So well, who gives a shit about anybody else?
Exactly. But then to counteract that, you have is it Waylon? Waymond.
Yeah, it's kind of like Raymond, but with just a W.
Yeah, and his kind of like looking for hope in humanity is like, no, they can't. He has a great scene at the end where speech where he's like, everyone stop fighting. Why can't we just try to find the humanity in each other? And that kind of counteracts that nihilistic feel. And then you have Evelyn, who's kind of in the middle. Like she wants to believe that there's more to the universe, but then there are moments where she's like, I'm in debt, like nothing's going my way. She can see into different universes that she's going the way of Joy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not until she hears that speech that she kind of turns the switch, which is a very, very powerful like motivation.
Yeah, because you can kind of see it in the first time you see, like, I think it made me really upset when it happened, was when after she saw her movie star self, like her movie
star, yeah,
and she's talking to regular, like to her Waymond,
and she's like, I wish I,
yeah, like,
yeah, she says like, I wish I would have,
I shouldn't have went with you, basically.
Yeah, like, saying that like I should have listened to my father and stayed,
and that with him. That look that Waymond gave is heartbreaking. It's like, in my mind, I was like, how could, like, that's one of the most horrible things I think you can say to someone, especially someone who his entire world
revolves around you.
And probably the biggest reason why, like, he fell in love with her and he loves her even more, like to as much as he does, is because knowing the fact that she did like give up her family basically for him, and it's like, to hear that, I couldn't even imagine.
Dude, that was like the gut punch of like, oh, I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah, and then she just walks away.
Yeah,
like it's
like
normal.
Nothing.
Especially because at this point, I think she's probably more like enamored with Alpha Waymond at this point. So in her mind, she's just like, I can see all this. Like I'm not gonna even acknowledge that what I said was extremely hurtful and rude. It was even beyond, I think it's even beyond like what when she told Joy that she was fat, like she was getting fat, like, because I've heard the perspective of like, oh, well, that's kind of like that weird Asian love. It comes from a place of love. It's really messed up. You don't necessarily say that in like today's world, but that was like a way of her showing her love, and also it's her way of avoiding, because she wanted to say something much more like profound.
I don't know, because the look on Joy's face was like, I can't believe you just said that to me.
Yeah,
of all the things you have to say to me, you say that I'm fat.
Yeah, and it's also Evelyn deflecting, because she wants to say what's actually on her mind, but because most of us don't know how to communicate with each other effectively. You say something like that. You say something horrible, really, that creates that distance even more, so you don't have to be vulnerable. Which I think is that's also a theme in this movie, is vulnerability, and how vulnerability is strength and not weakness. Because for some reason we're taught in this world that if you're vulnerable, you're weak. And luckily we have a bunch of filmmakers that are truthful that's not the case, and that's what Waymond is. Waymond is that vulnerability and that strength and vulnerability. It's to talk about it. There's a reason that Waymond and the Alpha universe is called it's called the Alpha universe, and it's called his name is Alpha Waymond, and why Alpha Waymond is willing to go immediately to violence, immediately to like fighting and getting aggressive and stuff like that, because that's what we're taught as men at a young age, is that to be a man is to be an alpha, is to be aggressive and to be assertive and to be violent sometimes. And with Waymond, who is actually the catalyst to basically everything getting solved, is from Beta Waymond, quote unquote Beta Waymond, because even though, and I've heard that that's not even scientific, and that humans are alpha and beta, because humans are way more complex than animals.
Yeah, we're just everything. We have humanity. We show empathy. We show there's so much more to humans than just two boxes.
Exactly, and that's what I think. That's what they're trying to do. That's what the directors are trying to portray in this, is that that the way to win, the way to solve this issue, this problem that was going on, was for the one who we thought was weak in the beginning, who we thought was weak, is actually the source of Evelyn's strength, in that just be kind, just be more empathetic, like especially when you're scared, especially when you don't know what's going on, because like he says, we're all scared. Like that we don't, everyone, and I think that was him talking to the audience of like, we're all terrified. We don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah. So then going into kind of the last stretch of the movie, I love the fact that Evelyn is the one to tell her father about Joy and what's her girlfriend's name? Becky.
Becky.
Yeah, like that they're together, and that she accepts it. Like she finally accepts it, and then you have the scene with her and Debris. Am I saying that right? Or Deirdre. Again, names.
Yeah.
not my strong suit, but that was a great scene too, because they finally get to talk, like sit down and talk with each other, and then there's so much that kind of just wraps itself up that again, you realize that like humans are not just two things. Like we're a mixture of everything. We can see the good in people, we can see the bad in people, but we're always somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, like what Waymond goes on to say is that, not that Waymond, what Business Waymond says to Evelyn, which is like the universe where
she's a movie star.
Yeah, she's a movie star. He became a successful businessman because they went their separate ways. She didn't go with him. She stayed with her father. So she became a movie star and a martial arts expert and stuff like that.
Jackie Chan, pretty much.
Yeah, and they're talking, and like he tells her that, I know you think that like I'm weak. I know you think that because I'm so nice and so kind that I'm naive, but and he's like, and you see yourself as a fighter. Like he's like, I know you do. You clearly are a fighter. You can't get where you want to be without being a fighter. But that his kindness and his empathy is the way he fights. That instead of yes, he knows that the world's a messed up place and that there's evil and there's horrible things going on in the world. But instead of in like basically doing what I think a lot of us do and like blaming the world and getting upset at it and lashing out at it at times, he chooses to face it with kindness and to accept who he is in this world, and that gives her the strength to then, when she's got to take out the army and take out Joe Butapaki, she especially to stop the black hole who had just started in this universe, she instead of fighting them with violence, she gives them what they need, what they're missing in that moment, to even go to these lengths to where to even feel like they have to kind of universe jump. So like there's the one where it's Rakakuni. She has to go get Rakakuni back for this guy.
That's a funny ass scene.
Especially Rakakuni, when she's first explaining it, you think like you're clearly talking about Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
Yeah, obviously. And then there's a universe where there's no, it's Ratatouille.
It's an actual raccoon, and I died laughing.
You die laughing, but then whenever she causes him to lose Ratatouille, and he's sitting there,
You're hurt.
You're hurt for him. You're like you better help this man get his raccoon back.
This is like Groot and Rocket in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Like, I never knew I could care so much about a tree.
And a raccoon.
And a raccoon. Yeah, funny enough.
Yeah, like this is like the second.
Second raccoon that I care about.
Yeah. Movies.
Movies. Yeah.
But yeah, so she does that, and she gets to Evelyn, not to Evelyn. She gets to Joy, and that was part of her like her introducing Becky to her father was like her way of giving her daughter what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at this point it's too late. It's kind of like too late. And I think at this point you're kind of talking like you are really talking to not just Joy from this universe, but also not just Joe Butaki. It's obviously both of them together, kind of combined. Of like, she because in the beginning of the film, after Joy leaves Evelyn, after Evelyn called her fat, like when she's driving, she does not look well. She looks like she is struggling with a lot mentally. So when you get this scene at the end, it kind of like all comes full circle when she tells her like, I'm tired. And I think this is a thing that we hear from people who suffer from depression.
Yeah.
Who have, made certain kind of attempts that I won't say on YouTube, but like saying like at some point you just want it to stop. You want the pain to stop. You want the endlessness or the hopelessness to end. And coming from Joy, who can now literally see all the universes all at once, like to know or to like have to deal with this and not really be able to be present because you're not really able to be present anywhere because you're constantly somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like that was really hard. Like she just wanted that to end. She wanted to be able to focus, or she got tired of having to be everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. And so and then there's a scene where she just says like, let me go. In that scene, she tells her like, just let me go. And you kind of get like a weird, it's like a weird thing where it's like Evelyn tells her, okay. And that moment you're like, that's actually like a lot of growth in the normal world.
Yeah.
Considering what the stakes are when she changes her mind and says like, no, like, I'm gonna stay with you, and basically like telling her like, why did you come looking for me after all this time? Like clearly like this is what you want. Sorry. Clearly this is what you want because otherwise you wouldn't have come looking for me through all these universes, because that's what you find out Jobu was trying to do. Mm-hmm. He was trying to find an Evelyn that could at least be the same as her so that she could understand and have somebody there. And so that scene where she finally happens, like it's a beautiful moment. It brings like tears in my eyes talking about it, because I think that's what we all want from our parents. We all want that, like that I understand who you are. I see you.
Validation.
Yeah, like I'm all that good stuff. Like, parents mean well, and this is coming from a parent who I'm not there yet because I only have a 4-year-old. But I mean, like my parents have dealt with that. Of like, I'm always seeking validation from my father. My mom is always trying to solve my issues instead of listening to my issues.
Yeah.
So like, you understand Evelyn in that moment, and you're just like, damn, like this is not what I was expecting from this movie. And it's a beautiful film from beginning.
Yeah. I mean, from looking at this film, you could see it as, this kind of sci-fi comedy, which I actually thought it was going to be.
I thought it was going to be like a straight up action film.
Yeah. From the trailers.
It's a martial arts film also.
Yeah. Yeah, but really, this is actually a character drama. It's like a family drama.
It's a family drama, yeah. It's just on a bigger scale of there's crazy things happening in this world, but it's a very personal story.
Yeah, and even the end of the film is not like a very positive ending. It's just kind of a normal ending.
Yeah, well, because they go back to their lives, but they they go back to their lives at the end. Obviously, where they're staying in this universe. They still have to deal with taxes. They still have the laundromat. But in that, what Evelyn's learned, and what I think what Joy also learned, is that yes, this life sucks, but when you're doing it with people that you love, like
it sucks less.
it's the only thing that even like she said, like this is the only place I would want to be.
Yeah,
And that's what that line from Wayman earlier, business Wayman was, I would have been completely happy doing taxes and owning a laundromat in another universe.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that's
even
exactly what her life was.
Yeah, and Evelyn says that even when nothing makes sense, if she could be anywhere else in the multiverse, she would always want to be with her Joy. Which is what she tells Joy at the end of the film, and you can see that moment meant a lot to Joy, but like it's not quite enough to make up for the past. But it's something that they're working towards, not something that's going to hold them back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like that's what confronting your trauma is all about. Confronting your trauma is kind of real. It's especially when the person who caused the trauma to you can accept it and it can accept their role in it. It's that like confronting it, you become you forgive it, you forgive the person, but that pain, that hurt's always gonna be there. But all you can do is move forward, and that's what Joy and Evelyn plan to do. Is you can't change the past, you can't change the hurt that was caused, but what you can do is you can be better down the line. You can make better choices, and I think what it all comes down to is communicate effectively. Just communicate. Talk to people. Talk to the people around you. If something's bothering you, talk to them. If someone did something to hurt you, talk to them. Like it's amazing what effective communication can do. It's in every relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a friendship, a work relationship,
family.
Yeah, like family, anything like that. Like communicating. The art of communication is an important art that none of us know.
No. So we pretty much talked about the film, like we jumped around, but we got the idea of the film. So let's get into our superstar spotlight. So who is your character of the movie?
Yeah, it's funny though. The main character is Evelyn, but my superstar spotlight is probably the character that I've talked about the most in this video, and that's the character of Wayman, played by Keith Kwan, who, by the way, and I recognized him almost immediately, and I had to look up on IMDb who he was. Short Round. Well, my mind, even Tom, I'm a little bit different. I went immediately Data from the Goonies. That's who I know. So I'm like, no way. And like I looked it up and I was like, dude, the fact that this man has been out of Hollywood for so long, like we missed out. And for those that don't know, the reason why he left Hollywood is because there were basically no roles for him that he wanted. There were only the stereotypical Asian roles at a young age. Like as much as we love Short Round and Data,
they were stereotypes.
Very and so he didn't want to do that anymore, so he left Hollywood and came back after probably 30 years maybe.
Sounds about right.
I think the last film that he did was I think I saw somewhere it was 1990 something.
Yeah.
So it was 30 years, and it just makes me angry because I'm like, we could have had so much more with this man, because his performance is I think this movie really does hinge on his performance. Yes, Evelyn is important. Yes, Stephanie Sue is important. But if you don't, without his performance being both Alpha Waymond and being every single Waymond, his delivery, the subtlety, that I'm saying, that scene where she says what she says to him, it's not a big deal. It's not made a big deal in the film because he just completely acts with his face. He's able to convey what you need to get from him without saying things saying words at times. And to me, his performance is the one that I really latched onto, and really carried this film for me. It brought it up to a whole new level, and I cannot wait to see what he does next.
Oh yeah. So I have two, but I can't have two, so I'm gonna choose one. Of course, it's easy to go with the lead, Michelle Yeoh, who fucking kills it, man. Every movie she's in, she just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
Going off the topic a little bit, she was originally going to play the bride in the Kill Bill series. Yeah.
Oh,
The only reason that Tarantino didn't cast her is because he said in an interview it would not be believable for anybody to kick her ass.
That's badass.
And that's coming from Tarantino. But for me, it has to be Stephanie Hsu. Just the fact that she was able to give this kind of nuanced performance of, the regular Joy who wants to see the hope in people, and also, how do you say it? Jobu
Tupaki.
There you go. What he said. And that kind of like, nihilistic version of herself.
Mm-hmm.
She fucking kills it, man. I still can't wait to see what else she does, because she's got the comedy, she's got, the acting chops, but it's the way she's able to express herself just in her face.
Yeah.
Like just subtle movements here, or, a beat here with her face that just kind of shows either she's hurt or she wants to heal, or whatever that she's feeling at the time. She doesn't have to say. She shows it in her face.
Yeah, she is just like extremely charismatic.
Yeah,
like she owns every scene she's in. I think she probably steals every scene she's in because of what she's doing. And I understand that this is a film where she has to be completely like out there, and so you get to play with that a little more. But to be able to go from that to that last scene between her and Evelyn, like that, because that's not the character, that's not Jobu Tupaki, that's not the weird crazy eccentric character that she's being in the as Jobu Tupaki. Like that's a very nuanced performance that she's doing, and a very real performance. And that's why I think in that scene she's not dressed in anything crazy. She's dressed in what she was wearing as Joy.
Yeah.
Which is a very little detail that is made, because in that moment she's not being a character; she's being Joy. And
Joy.
It's Stephanie, and so I just looked it up. It is Stephanie Hsu.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I did not realize that she was in Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, Michelle.
That's badass. No.
Wait, no, is she?
Michelle Hsu.
Who is she in Shang-Chi?
Sue.
Oh well, I don't even remember. I didn't know that. I know Michelle Yeoh was in it, but I didn't know Stephanie Hsu was in it.
Oh, so they both were in another movie together. That's cool.
I believe so. This is I'm gonna look it up right now. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Or maybe I was looking at the wrong thing, but I'm pretty sure I saw like her. Someone was showing all the things that Michelle Yeoh's been in recently.
Yeah.
And I believe Shang-Chi was one of them. Like, I mean, dude, she's in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, she was Ying Nan, but I believe she's the sister of the mother of Shang-Chi.
Oh, so they both were in.
They're both in Shang-Chi, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
More representation. We're all about it.
Yeah, we are.
So, right. Let's go. And also, both of these performances that we chose, obviously, we chose great ones because they're both nominated for Oscars.
Yeah.
Have you seen a lot of the Oscar films that are any of the performances from these?
I have seen two.
Okay, which one?
This one and then Top Gun Maverick.
Okay. See, I watched The Banshees of Inisherin, which is the one with Colin Farrell, Brandon Gleeson.
How is that movie?
It's a very artsy movie. It's I guess it's kind of like a folk tale type of thing where on the surface if you're not really paying attention, or like me, follow this YouTuber named Ryan Hollinger, shout out. He made a video about it, and I was like, I did not catch any of this stuff, But like when you go back and watch it, you're like, dude. I mean, the performances are great. It's a very weird movie, but I recommend it, especially.
Not gonna lie, I'm still kind of pissed that Mia Goth didn't get nominated for Best Actress.
So are you ready for this? I would take Jamie Lee Curtis out of the Oscars. I don't think she did a bad job, but I also think she didn't do she didn't do a lot, not enough for me to like really walk away and be like, especially compared to Stephanie Hsu.
Yeah,
like, compared to Stephanie Hsu and Carrie Condon's character in the Banshees of Inisherin, like she doesn't do that much. So
I would probably take her out and put in Mia Goth, but for Pearl. But
I haven't seen Pearl.
Dude, watch Pearl. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, we have a lot to catch up on. Me and my girlfriend have a lot to catch up on.
I will say that's just kind of par for the course for horror at the Oscars.
Yeah,
like, I wish they would show horror more respect.
Well, I love that she's speaking out about it.
Yeah.
I love that she's calling out the calling out the Academy, and like, there's got to be something needs to change. Because the fact that I haven't seen, but I've basically heard from everybody like she is amazing in the movie.
Transcendence performance in Pearl, man.
I was like, I've heard about it so much that I was actually surprised when I saw that she didn't get one. Because I was like,
me
okay,
too.
I get Lupita Nyong'o didn't get one because that was a straight up horror film. I guess I understand why Toni Collette didn't. Because
see, I don't get that one either. Toni Collette fucking killed it in Hereditary.
I guess my immediate mind is like because that movie is a lot of shock in there. It's a lot. It's pretty disturbing.
I mean, it is, but like
this is coming from someone.
Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins got
true.
nominated for an Oscar, and that movie's fucking just
that one's
way worse than Hereditary.
Yeah,
when it comes to shock value.
His face. I think that was the Anthony Hopkins thing more than. It's Anthony.
Well, it can be. The whole movie got swept the Oscars.
That's. I mean, yeah, the movie. Yeah, I mean, like the performance because he got a. Was it just a nom or did he? I think he won.
He won for.
He's
for
only
Silence of the Lambs.
20-some minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
he's not in it for very long, and that's the Anthony Hopkins, thing, which is it's well earned.
Yeah.
I actually just saw The Father recently. Oh, that movie.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's the one he won the Oscar for, I believe, in 20. It came out in 2019, so it was a 2020 Oscar.
2020 Oscars.
Yeah. That's the one that they gave it to him instead of Chadwick.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, they gave it to him instead of Chadwick, and yeah, it was not good. The movie, he's amazing in the movie.
I'll say this: I haven't caught up with a lot of Oscar movies, just because it's like I'm just gonna watch what I want to watch. And if I do watch one that gets nominated, great. If not, then I'm not going to search it out.
Yeah.
It feels like some movies are specifically made to be Oscar films.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And The Father is 100% an Oscar film. It's absolutely an Oscar film, but it doesn't make it any less good. But what I've been doing is I've been trying to do like one movie that I haven't seen, especially like Oscars I've been like watching a lot of movies that have been asked questions in all the movie trivia leagues that we're in.
Smart.
So I can try and like because a lot of these movies, like when they're doing, especially like if Aaron Jay's writing a trivia or something, like he goes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try and start watching more things like him. So, but yeah, but then I'll also like put in like right now I'm watching Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
Just like get some things and something that I really like, and something that like I haven't seen before, and maybe I like it, maybe I won't.
Yeah. I'm about to start off my my MCU rewatch because I'm a part of the MCU Trivia League now. So.
Oh yeah, I signed up, but I haven't gotten a message. But I watched your match, dude. Oh yeah, that was such a good match. Y'all both put up a hell of a fight.
Yeah, man. It was such a
one that you didn't get, and I was like, oh, like it was so close. Like I know you were close,
dude. Like a lot of those, I was so close.
But your 3-point question was fucking rough.
We are getting off topic a little bit. Let's get into. That's fine. The final, I guess the final rating ish of our show.
So for those who don't know, we'll look up the Rotten Tomatoes score. And we'll give a ruling on if the Rotten Tomatoes score is good or bad, or if it's underrated, overrated, or just right.
Or just right. So for Everything Everywhere All at Once, the tomato score with 369 reviews is 95% critic score, And with an audience score of over 2,500, the audience score is 88%.
Wow. Okay. I might go a little crazy here. I'm gonna say that based off of the definitely underrated on the public.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely underrated on the public. Absolutely. However, I'm gonna say that the critics underrated.
Wow,
I
95?
don't know who these people are that aren't willing to go 98, 97. Like those two points mean something to me. Like, so I'm gonna say that the critics underrated it. There's a few critics out there that didn't give it a good score, and I think it was probably because they were like, this is ridiculous. Hot dogs for fingers. Like I'm a film person, just having fun because there's a lot of fun things, and I think you do have to. This is a movie I think if you're not in the mood for it, if you're not in a silly mood, I don't think it'll work for you.
Yeah.
But any other case, you have to be like you have to have a really bad day, or like be in a really shitty mood
To hate this film
and be like, I don't want to, like, this is dumb, because it's not.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna say it's perfectly rated across the board.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because 95% critic score, I kind of expected the critic score to be higher because of the themes and kind of the uniqueness of the film.
At times.
Yeah, it's artsy, but it's also kind of unique. It's also kind of different. So I think a 95 is perfectly fine. I'm actually okay with it being 88 for the audience score because this is a film that, for some people, the goofiness can take them out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If because it does go over the top, and you have to be ready for that. And I think some audience members weren't ready for that, and they were expecting either an all like martial arts action film, and they got something deeper, and they weren't expecting that, or they were expecting something more serious and got kind of these bombarded with these goofy moments, which I love, but it can be off-putting, especially if you're not, if you're not a critic. I would say, like, a critic can actually see through the goofiness. I think it's harder for an audience to see through that.
Yeah. I think because me personally, like, I have had those times where I'll go into a film and I'm like, I'm expecting this, and then it is deeper. That's never a bad thing to me. Like,
yes, some people though, if you expect like a pure action film like The Raid or like something that kind of over the top, and then you get those moments, it can make you kind of disappointed. You're just like, I didn't really pay my ticket, my money to see something like this. I wanted to see the over the top action and the comedy and things like that.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I will say that the audience underrated. Get in the 90s, like two more.
Two more we find.
Yeah, but fantastic movie, man. Like the Daniels. I'm not going to say both their names because I don't want to look it up right now. But I know that they go by the Daniels. That's their duo name. So I can't wait to see what they do next. I haven't seen Swiss Army Man. Also, I think after watching this, I will go back and see it. Especially because I've heard good things about Daniel Radcliffe's performance in that movie.
It's Daniel Radcliffe, not Elijah Wood. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that I'll have to check out more of them. I hope that they win a lot of Oscars. You want to actually? I guess I can see which ones they're nominated for. I know it's 11. It's 11 Oscars. You have for one right here. You have actor in a supporting role, Ke Huy Quan. We mentioned that one. Michelle Yeoh for leading actress, Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Hsu for actress in a supporting role. Then you have Shirley Kurata for that's the costume design one.
Yeah, well earned, man.
Yes, absolutely. You have directing, obviously, for the Daniels. For directing, you have editing, which this has to
win for editing.
If it doesn't win for editing, it'll be
a snub.
Yes, it'll be a robbery. I'll go that far.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they didn't get for hair. They didn't get for makeup and hair. That's crazy. You have the music for original score, which
Yes, the music in this film was fantastic.
if it wasn't for All Quiet on the Western Front, it's going to be a close one between those two. We have Everything Everywhere All at Once is best original song. Sorry for This Is a Life. And then for best picture. So yeah, they
11 in total, right?
Yeah, they should win most of these. I don't know. I'll probably say I can't guarantee the actor ones. I don't think, because those are those can be up in there. I think at least Michelle Yeoh will be for sure a front runner. But also I haven't seen all of the other movies, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But at least with like the editing, the editing.
I'm gonna go on my highest pick and say that this movie's gonna win Best Picture.
Wow.
Yep.
Let me look at them. I forgot. So for Best Picture, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, which is a great movie. You have Avatar: The Way of Water. Haven't seen it. You have The Banshees of Inisherin. Also, a really good movie. It's an Oscar movie.
It's an Oscar movie.
Elvis, which is overrated.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Austin Butler's amazing. I think he should probably win Best Actor.
Best Actor.
Doesn't make the movie great. It's a Baz Luhrmann movie, though. I might not be the biggest Baz Luhrmann fan.
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is amazing. The Fabelmans I haven't seen.
That feels like a Steven Spielberg Oscar film.
Yeah, that's a Steven Spielberg Oscar class. Like that's the special, the Oscar special.
Yeah.
From Spielberg, and so that's another one I can't roll out, even though I haven't seen.
Yeah, that Fabelmans is gonna have a great shot.
Then you have Tar, which I also haven't seen. That's Cate Blanchett in it.
Which I heard Cate Blanchett is fucking amazing in that film.
So maybe Michelle Yeoh might not get it. Top Gun Maverick, which I haven't seen also, which
you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick?
I haven't seen it, man. I'm telling you, we go to the movies very few times, and when we do, it's usually a horror film.
I'll tell you this: one of the best experiences I've had in a theater setting.
Man,
oh, it's so beautiful on the big screen, man.
I really do wish I could do what you're doing, where you're able to go like once a week, like Saturday night, and do.
Yeah, Saturday.
I can't, but I want to, and I hope that I can more. I think I'll try more often this year. But like usually when me and my girlfriend go, we're more like horror films, or we saw Wakanda Forever in the theater and stuff. We saw the Batman in theater.
So did I.
We saw Scream. What else did we see? We saw Smile here at the house.
Dude, Smile is underrated. That movie's great.
We can do that one because I love that one. Okay, so we also have Triangle of Sadness. I haven't seen.
I don't even know what that is.
And then Woman Talking.
I saw trailers for that. I don't know what it's about. So I think front runner is The Fabelmans, just because that seems like what the Oscars will choose. But my dark horse is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, they also got nominated for Best Original Screenplay as well.
Yes.
Which is well earned as well.
Dude, another snub for Best Picture is Nope.
I haven't seen Nope.
Oh, dude. Nope is I think Nope is petty.
Yeah.
Not the movie, but I think the Oscars were so butthurt that it makes fun of Hollywood and things like that, so they didn't give it on purpose. And I'm like, you fucking give horrors a shot, damn it.
This is another way that horror just gets completely overlooked. It might not be everyone's favorite, but I think Smile has some of the best sound.
Yeah.
The sound effects and sound and Smile. That movie has you completely on edge from beginning to end.
Great jump scares too.
Amazing jump scares. The sound design and some of the
Have you seen Barbarian?
Yes, love Barbarian.
Oh, Barbarian's amazing. Dude, last year
it could have been cool to get like an original screenplay, but then I also think that it probably didn't work because if you have to like actually turn in the screenplay, but I think that was a really good original film.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere for me. Like I didn't know anything going in. Thank God.
2022 had some of the best horror films.
I think horror's on a rise, man. Like it's like a renaissance kind of going on.
Dude, 2022, in my opinion, is the best year of horror of all time. When you look at all of the best original
that'd be interesting
movies,
to look up. Like which year was the best? Maybe we could do that one day.
That would be fun because in 2022 was cool as you got movies like Scream, the new one, which I think is fucking fantastic. It continues the legacy of Scream. But then you got movies like Smile, like Nope, like Barbarian, just tons of original horror films that all did fantastic.
Yeah, and then you also have like the full on like gore, like for people that are into that. Because I haven't seen it yet. Because I'm kind of
Terrifier 2.
Yeah, Terrifier 2. Like that got rave reviews from people that I didn't even know were like interested in horror.
It went from a 40% the original to like an 80% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes.
And I think that's the second one. You're seeing a lot more, I guess, people accept horror for what it is. They're not over analyzing it. They're not critiquing it, but they would critique a Fableman's or Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like they're kind of I'll actually throw Everything Everywhere All at Once in with this is like it's just taking it at face value of what it is. What it is. It's not meant to be taken like 100% complete seriously. Like you're supposed to take it seriously and accept what it's giving you, but like it's not taking itself too seriously. It understands what it is, and that I think a lot of critics are now starting to see that with horror films. I think it's why Megan got great reviews.
Megan is actually fucking amazing.
I love Megan, but it's because it's not meant to be taken completely seriously. It's in on the joke, and I think that people are starting to realize that and rate horror movies a lot better, and that's why horror is now leaving. It is becoming more mainstream, I think. But that's a good
and hopefully if it continues to rise, hopefully we see the Oscars accept it more and more.
Yes.
Because my hope is like we get 5 great to fantastic horror films and 2 of them get nominated for Best Picture next year.
Yeah, there's 10 films there's plenty of room to put
I'm sorry, take Avatar: The Way of Water out and put it in a horror film.
And I think if I think if Hereditary came out this year, it could have probably been up there for getting nominated.
Yeah.
Because I don't think in my mind I also haven't seen Pro and I haven't seen X and I haven't seen what was the other one?
The Menu.
Yeah, The Menu. I haven't seen The Menu, so I can't completely say on those. But at least in my mind, what was great about the horror films is that they really had everything that you wanted from that film, but nothing completely blew me away. But so I think that if maybe Hereditary came out this year, maybe
I think
especially now that they're taking advantage of that 10 films. Before they were cutting it why I don't know why
6 or 7, but you have 10 slots.
Just put 10.
Yeah, or as I was saying, take Avatar 2: The Way of Water, which it may be a good film. I've never seen it, but take that out and put in something like The Menu.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty widely spoken about that. Clearly, the Avatar: The Way of Water shouldn't have gotten an Oscar nom, based off of the quality of the film alone. Not that it's not a good film, but it's just not it doesn't scream Best Picture.
Yeah,
everyone that's talked about it has not said this is the greatest film this year.
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's probably on par with the first one.
And I've heard people say that they're even excited for the third one because of this film.
Yeah, and that's good. But I'm saying if you look at what film to film, if you look at something like The Menu, which deals with not only emotional trauma, but really good effects, really good acting, fucking Ray Fiennes is amazing in that film. But because it's horror, they're not going to give it the time of day.
Yeah.
And it bugs me, man.
Yeah. Maybe one day, man. And maybe we'll be doing this show when that happens.
I hope so.
and we can talk about.
We got on a big Oscar tangent.
Yeah, and we'll eventually get out of that. Watch, we'll have our superhero tangent, our comic book movie tangent, our horror.
We're gonna have long tangents in the show. So
absolutely, but that's what I want this show to be. I want this show to be just two guys talking film. Every now and then we'll invite a third on to talk some movies. But yeah, just the conversation goes where it goes.
Yeah,
it's really what I wanted the movie stash to be about. Of like, it's just about enjoying movies or not enjoying movies, and we'll get those too. We had that I think when we watched Us for the last show.
Yeah, you didn't like Us. I loved Us, and then we had Glass where we kind of both didn't know how to feel.
Yeah, yeah. It was like I wanted. Yeah, Glass is different. Glass is one of those films. It's probably like me when you watch it. Every time you watch it, you probably change your mind on it. Like,
yeah. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But speaking of Shyamalan, though, I will be seeing Knock at the Cabin Saturday. I'm fucking excited.
I want to go see that. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's getting great reviews. I think it has like a 70 on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah, I heard Dave Bautista is amazing.
Me too.
The only critic I even watch anymore now though is just Jeremy Johns, and so like that's one of the films he talked about, and he's like, so far this has been a really good year for movies.
January has surprised the fuck out of me.
I think he only had one film that was like badly rated, which was like it's okay if you're drunk, which is like his like third
middle of the road.
It's like middle rating, but everything else before that was like Megan was a good time no alcohol required, Flight or no, not Flight, what was it, that one with
Plane.
Plane, yeah. He said that was good time no alcohol required. I think he gave this one I forgot what he gave. He had this one a good review. Knock at the Cabin. So and even the missing one, Missing, I think it's called.
Dude, Missing is fucking amazing.
Like, what is happening? Like, what is going on?
It seems like
this is a really good January.
It seems like movies are like becoming more and more like putting out good films earlier on in the year because the summer is so full of like big blockbusters that they're like, okay, let's put our great like character films or fun horror films early in the year, January, February, March. Because we're getting Scream on March 10th, which is next month, like 1 month from now. So
yeah.
And then I believe we have right after that we have Evil Dead Rise, which I am fucking stoked for.
Dude, that looks a lot like Fede Alvarez's like what his style was.
Yeah,
cool. Because I'm not like the biggest Evil Dead fan, but like I really, when I think of Evil Dead, like even though I love Sam Raimi's, I mostly think of Fede Alvarez because I love that movie. I love what he does with it. So this felt a lot more like that, which I was like more excited about. But my February release that I'm looking forward to, and I got made fun of at work for it because I've been waiting for this movie for a very long time. That's Cocaine Bear.
Yes, Cocaine Bear.
I'm discovering about myself that I am a creature feature guy. I like monsters. I like
based on a true story, kind of.
And I'm like, this movie is exactly what I want it to be. It's either gonna be
oh my god,
and it's gonna be ridiculously.
If Cocaine Bear is a masterpiece, I'm gonna fucking laugh so hard.
Nominated Best Picture next year in 2020.
Best Picture, Cocaine Bear. Let's go.
Why not? But yeah, let's go ahead and call it a night, man. You can find me on Twitter at Alec Miller 0423. I'll talk about movies there. I'll talk about sports there. I'll talk about everything. But catch us here every week, man, on the Movie Stash. We're gonna be doing this every week. Looking forward to it. After you introduce yourself, we will talk about what the next film is. But go ahead.
Yeah. So this will be airing on Sunday. So Stash Sundays. So I will be able to edit that out and get taken care of. But yes, like and subscribe right here to Nerd Entertainment Network. Should we announce what next week's movie is going to be?
Absolutely. With the movie that you were just talking about, it's that's coming out soon. We have Scream 6 coming out. It looks great.
Looks fantastic.
It looks amazing. But because of that, we're gonna go ahead and do basically a Scream watch. Like we're gonna count our way down all the way to the new release, and then maybe when it comes out, we will both go see it, and we can talk about that here on the show. But we
Yep.
will be doing Scream 1 next week. 1996, correct?
1996, one of my favorite horror films of all time.
And so catch us next week doing Scream 1. We have to kind of say that now because Scream 2022 is
I'm just gonna call it Scream 5. So
but yeah, so we'll be doing Scream 1 next week, 1996, and we will see you guys next week. Check you out here on the Stash. Peace out, guys.
Peace, guys.